schwabnetwork.com.
All right, we got an Ethereum ETF on the way. Got a big pop in the crypto and Bitcoin kind of moving alongside with stocks today. Phil Striebel joins us, Chief Market Strategist at Blue Line Futures. All right, Phil, so when you look at the reaction to the Ethereum news, what do you see? Do you see celebration?
We saw a big flash in the pan on the 20th. We rallied about 9%. We gapped up the next day higher, but since then, we're just in this sideways consolidation. I mean, really, you want to see some upward sustainable closes over that $4,000 level, and you really don't want to see it drop below 3,600 because it's going to start to fill that gap. Now, the question is there that demand where we saw, like, I mean, it was an unprecedented amount of money going into the Bitcoin ETF. It seemed like it was monumental. That was that much firepower in it. Will that attract the same amount of money in the Ethereum? I just don't know if it's got that same bang. Now, if you get back into the Bitcoin, you really got to see a close over that 70,000 in order to gain that momentum continuously going higher. And we've seen some moves above it, but they've all been failed breakouts.
Yeah, that's where we're kind of where we were when you and I spoke last Friday, right? There's kind of been some failed rallies. The Ethereum move was big, of course, but still below the year-to-date high, which is below the old all-time high. You know, a lot of people give me grief because they think I'm just kind of looking at it from a negative lens to begin with because I'm a cynic on the stuff. But, like, am I wrong here? The charts don't look that great, especially when stocks are breaking out.
I know, you got to see. I mean, the chart's got to move. I used to work for a guy, and he used to tell me, Phil, just give me a chart. I don't care what commodity is, and it's got to be moving from the lower left of the chart to the upper right. That's the one that we're focused on. So there's a lot of other plays out there that are just doing a lot better than cryptocurrencies right now. Yeah, keep them on your radar. Yes, you should own some cryptocurrencies to some certain degree. But I mean, asset classes that move 10% in a day are not currencies. They're not developed currencies. If the US dollar was swinging 10% in a day, my Lord, there'd be a run on the government and run on banks and God knows what else, you know? So, you know, it's not a currency. It is an asset class that is a derivative of energy that has some degree of store of value. I don't know what happens when electricity will go out, but, you know, I mean, again, it's got to continue to move up. With equities going up, it's got to do it.
You think that generally the two still remain connected at the hip? I mean, generally so do I. If you see the way Bitcoin peaked out in March, that was the same time as NVIDIA made the high. So, you know, a kind of loose correlation to momentum trades as a whole. You'd think it's going to warm back up. One of the things I'm thinking about for Ethereum, though, is like, what's the pitch? You know, for Bitcoin, the pitch has always been digital gold, and I could argue till my breath is out that it ain't. Something more like the opposite. But, like, what's the Ethereum pitch to the average person, you know?
I don't know. And the thing with Ethereum is that, you know, I always praise the exchange and everything. They do a great job launching products, but I really think that it was a failed endeavor when it was the micro Ethereum, because Ethereum's only $3,700 right now, and the micro contract is a tenth of that. So we're talking like $300, and the margin on it's like $60. I mean, it's just you'd have to accumulate so many contracts in order to just get some movement. You're going to generate a lot of costs. You got bid offers to overcome. So, you know, we've really kind of shied away from the micro Ethereum, but micro Bitcoin at a tenth of that, it makes a little bit more sense. It's $6,000, $7,000 moving around in the account. So it's something that people can build and add to and things like that. So it's just not there. You know, I mean, and you go back to the equity markets, we had a nice little recovery here today, nice little snapback here. Disappointing when NVIDIA came out, and then all of a sudden we start to sell off. That hotter PMI data really was kind of the knife in the side of the interest rate cuts this year. You're only going to price it in one at the moment. So we're really going to take this weekend to digest and try and find those commodities that have the strongest underlying fundamentals.
Yeah, what do you think the vibe's going to be or coming back after a holiday break for Memorial Day? To your point, you know, it got a little bit messy with bonds again this week, but we're still able to bounce back. So it's not like it ruined the party, but it did kind of seem to cast a pall over some of the recent optimism.
Threw some water on the flame, that's for sure. So, I mean, we're going to look, obviously, when you're going into the weekend, you go into a longer weekend, you want to monitor geopolitical headlines. So keep an eye on the crude oil market. all weekend long, see if there's any developments there, at least the Sunday night trade and stuff, that things were heating up a little bit here with the Houthis and some attacks on some oil tankers and stuff earlier in the session today. That's what got us positive. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on the gold market, dollar index, of course, over into the weekend. But you go into next week, you got consumer confidence. That might come in a bit lower. I mean, the consumer's has actually been weakening. You look at like retail sales here, you look at retail sales in China, who knows, maybe this higher for longer. I think it's starting to have an impact on the housing market, people with debt burdens. I couldn't imagine, the debt payment if you were riding some, credit card debts and things like that at these higher levels. I don't know how you dig yourself out of the hole. So interest rates got to come down at some point. I think that they will around the election.
All right. Good catch up. Nice look across the macro frameworks, across asset Friday analysis. Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, you have a great weekend, man.
You too. Phil Striebel, Blue Line Futures. All right, let's go to a stock that continues to disappoint. An update on